Welcome back to the King of the North League of Legends Qualifier. We are back with another round 4 game. It's going to be the Worcester Weeaboos taking on Team Study Master here. I'm joined by the lovely, the wonderful Null Trid to join me on this shoutcast. And after such a stomp last game by University of Birmingham, kind of hoping for a bit more of an even game here today, Trid.
Well, as the top laner for Team Study Master's name would tell you, I am looking for a nice bit of Dr. Balance in this game, rather than a one-sided matchup. So, they're going to be jumping into Champion Select very shortly, but let's have a look at some of the journeys that they've had so far. So, we've got, obviously, Worcester Weeaboos versus Team Study Master. Worcester Weeaboos actually took out one of the tournament favourites, Aston Aunties, last round, which was very nice to see that they actually did that. And Team Study Master, they took out Leeds A, who we've seen in the Null a couple of times as well. Both very good teams. So I'm not expecting a little bit of a wet noodle fight this time round, Alzy.
Yeah, and Leeds A is such a fantastic team. We saw them take on Firefang Warwick earlier on in the stream. So Team Study Master have put Leeds A in their place, which is pretty good. Like it means that Team Study Master, a decent team coming into this one, because Leeds A, they played such a really good game against Firefang Warwick earlier on, and hopefully going to see a nice bit of back and forth in this game. Trid, what are you playing for? What is King of the North?
King of the North is basically the dankest thing in the North at the moment. King of the North is a lovely tournament that's going to be happening on the 2nd of March. Going to be crossing across multiple platforms. There's going to be some nice Skrilla and prizes and giveaways from a load of our sponsors, which are Twitch, the Null, MSI, Computer Planet, and Gamers Apparel. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Are you, Dowsy?
Yeah, absolutely. March the 2nd, Academy 1, be there or be square, as they say. We're going to be jumping into Champ Select in a second. Both these teams playing to make it into the semi-finals. They will be facing up against University of Birmingham TCA Storm, the winner of this match. The loser of this match will go home crying. So a lot to play for as we do make it into Champ Select.
They're going to go home crying. I thought we never left our homes.
well,
I'm
hoping these university students aren't still at home, Trid.
Well, you know, I'm in my home at the moment, drinking a nice glass of hot chocolate, watching some League of Legends, and casting alongside these lovely viewers. I mean, I'd say my house is pretty homey.
Fair enough. Esports is played from the home. I see what you're doing here, Trid, and I will accept it. Nidalee, Corki, and Shen banned out for the Worcester Weeaboos. It's going to be Poppy and Ramus banned out for Team Study Master, joined along with that Malphite.
Some very powerful picks being taken off of the board, but not really what we've been seeing from previous bans. That makes me think that these teams have done their research for some successful champions their opponents might have. Dr. Balance, that champion certainly is not. Tom Kench getting locked in here for the Worcester Weeaboos.
Yeah, and that Tom Kench could go anywhere on the map, theoretically. So really nice flex pick coming out. But you take one of those picks away, and they fire right back at you. Gangplank and Ezreal locked in for the Team Study Masters. And Gangplank, such a beautiful champion. Well, beautiful if he's on your team. Mid lane or top lane, he could be played. Ezreal, that late game scaling champion. We've seen him dominate so far on the stream. And Messiah Dog looking to take that one and build it into the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Gangplank. Also, I would like to just point out the best Gangplank skin is the spooky Gangplank skin. So I really hope we're going to see a ghostly ghoul running around this matchup. Amumu is a champion that I have seen a lot of recently. He's one of the highest win rate champions at the moment for solo queue junglers. So it's going well, but ultimately, Amumu forsakes his name and goes with the Graves lock-in. Milkyard goes ahead and picks himself up a Lucian.
Yeah, picks up a Lucian. Have to see what happens next. That Graves could be in the top lane. We do see a lot of top lane Graves at the moment. It kind of fell out of favor in the jungle. They took away some of the mini stuns on the creeps. So we'll have to see where that one goes. It should be a Lucian in the bot lane. However, theoretically, could be flexed to the top lane. Could go for a triple AD composition. Elise and Alistar now locked in. So we've got the bot lane rounded out, and what a disgusting one it is. Ezreal and Alistar in the bot lane. Very, very safe lane. You've got the Alistar to prevent really any engage onto him. And the Ezreal with that headbutt pulverize combo. Also got the arcane shift from the Ezreal, so able to dance back and forth. They can all in engage if they want. They can all in disengage. Should be a very hard lane really to make anything happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like at the moment that the Team Study Mid have left open their mid lane for the last pick. And truth be told, it's probably a wise idea if they're going to run a triple AD composition. They might want to run something to go against that. Oh, he just locked in the Teemo, didn't he?
He did just lock in the Teemo.
He just locked in the Teemo.
Oh,
Kofo, I'm going to remember that name. Kofo lacks sex. Kofo lacks sex. You're dead to me.
well,
my side.
Dr. Balance is most likely going to be playing the champion, so really you should be issuing your disgust over to Dr. Balance, who also picked up the Tahm Kench as well. So Teemo in the top lane, Azir in the mid lane, Tahm Kench in the bot lane. It should be a Graves in the middle, in the jungle even. Could be Tahm Kench in the jungle. It's really hard to say at this point in time, so we'll have to see where these guys are rearranged to.
Apparently Teemo is a placeholder for Braum, I'm being told.
Ah, there you go.
So, you get off lightly this time. Never again, though. If you're going to pick a placeholder, pick Urgot. Less triggering than a Teemo.
Yeah, well, the Teemo is definitely a triggering champion. So this champ select will be dodged. We will head back into the lobby, and these teams will rearrange. So that was a Braum in the bot lane with the Lucian, possibly a Tahm Kench in the top lane or the jungle, one of the two.
Yep, and now they're going to be back into the game. We're going to have to go through all of that yet again. God bless. And hopefully they just insta-lock him because everyone knows what it's going to be picked now. And save us the time. They're going to leaving banned yet again. So this is the part where one of the first picks decide that they think they're picking and they ban the champion they was going to play. We have to do it all over again.
They're putting out the same bans, which is nice of them. They don't have to do that, but it is good for what do you call it? It's good for consistency stakes. Yeah. Just make sure that nothing gets banned out by mistake. So proxy pick, Braum will be picked up instead of the Teemo. So we'll see that in the bot lane with the Lucian.
Yeah, Braum Lucian bot lane, incredibly strong. Lucian has a double tap. The passives just work so well together. Lucian double taps, procs the stun a lot sooner. Anamumu is taking that Graves to the jungle. It's going to be Dr. Balance in the top lane with that Tahm Kench, it would appear. Tepid Object now has restored that balance, locked in that Braum instead of that Teemo. So that is going to be the Worcester Weeaboos team composition as you see it. IFA Loveling taking that gangplank to the mid lane though, and allowing another Doctor to show up in the top lane in the form of Dr. Mundo MD.
Yeah, Dr. Mundo in the top lane. So it's going to be the biggest wet noodle fight I've ever seen in the top lane. Tahm Kench versus the Dr. Mundo. Both these champions going to be farming for days unless we get some serious jungle intervention from Animumu or Jay Chow. So kind of interesting. I think a real thing that we're going to have to be looking out for here is the mid lane. The reintroduction of Azir against this gangplank. It will be an interesting matchup indeed.
The delay is there. Alistar finally being locked in. We're going to have a really good time with this because we can go over everything we've already just summarized. So, Dowsy, looking at the team compositions, what are you going to say that their kind of objectives are for this game? What are they going to be aiming towards doing to bring themselves to victory? And we'll start with Team Student Master, sorry.
Team Study Master on the red side. Manchester University, one of the many Manchester teams here. So they've got themselves the Gangplank and the Ezreal and the. They've got quite a lot of poke actually. If you look down at the Infective Cleaners for Dr. Mundo, obviously Elise has plenty of spells she can throw out. Gangplank with those barrels, Messiah Dog on that Ezreal. We all know he's going to be chucking out those Qs, so they want to be poking down the enemy side before they go in. A lot of health on the side of Mundo and Alistair. Jay Chow probably going to go a bit of an off-tank build on that. At least he is the only AP damage for his team, so definitely going to want a bit of AP there. Otherwise, you just stack armor on the side of Worcester Weeaboos, and the damage is negated. So probably a lot of poke coming out, but they can engage when they want to. Wu Machao on that Alistair, able to all-in engage with the headbutt pulverize combo. Obviously, Laplace transform on that Mundo, able to run in there, the big beefy tank he is, take a lot of damage. And then Love Ling, really going to be the one to watch as he places the barrels, the damage that comes out of that, trial by fire as well. Really, he's going to be doing your burst damage essentially, whereas Messiah Dog's going to be doing a lot of consistent poke damage as well.
Yeah, and then looking at the Worcester Weeaboos as well. They're going to be doing that double AD carry, but they've got two supportive figures around them, and you've got the Azir in the mid lane, obviously. A lot of discussion was happening online about the best Keystone Mastery to be taking on Azir. A couple of players in the LCS have decided they're going to start taking Fervor of Battle on there, because that does move on to Azir's soldiers and provide benefits to that. So really, a lot of damage coming on, and it's basically a 2 and 3 comp. 2 supports, 3 damage dealers. Let's just nail it and try and see what we can do here. Graves jungle going up against it, despite you mentioned earlier the nerfs to the mini stuns he gets on the camps. Still though, crazy amounts of damage on that guy. He's just going to be able to blow through people if he gets even the slightest lead in this game.
Yeah, and on the side of Worcestershire, they're going to be trying to lay down a lot of damage. They've got the Tahm Kench to prevent anyone from going too low. The Lucian's going to be doing so much damage with that culling. Really interesting to see how Milkyard plays this Azir. We haven't seen many Azirs recently, so if he's able to lay down the damage, as you say, the masteries, the fever of battle applies to the soldiers. So definitely going to be interesting. And they've changed his kit around a little bit, giving him a bit of extra damage as well, a bit of extra mechanics, and would be good to see how they play this one. I'm looking at this Graves in the jungle really. See how Animumu is able to play this champion. I'm not a fan of Graves in the jungle anymore. He's definitely better in the top lane more than anything. But Animumu may have something up his sleeve, may be able to lay down the early damage that is necessary.
I would hope so. I mean, Graves in the top lane, I don't think he would do that well into Mundo past the point, unless he absolutely turned it into a clown fiesta in the beginning. That Mundo is just going to outscale him and run circles around him. I don't think he'd be able to cut through the regenerative passives, the regenerative capabilities of the Dr. Mundo MD. So, I disagree with you. I'd much rather see that Graves in that jungle, even despite those miniature nerfs. And it's really just a subjective opinion.
Yeah, well, obviously in this matchup, you don't want the Graves in the top lane into the Dr. Mundo. It wouldn't be favorable. But just as like champion picks, where you would prefer to see Graves ultimately in the meta, I feel like he's fallen out of favor in the jungle a little bit. But he is still very strong. So Animumu may be able to prove us all wrong.
So, can you pronounce Worcester?
No.
No? Why not? What's wrong? What's wrong?
As an Australian who is not used to these silly English names, apparently you guys invented the language, but
We did. We're
can't
credited with that.
can't quite pronounce
It's
these
even
words.
named. It's even named after us.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. It's no but no. So can you say Leicester?
I can say Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, so Worcester is just the same thing. Instead of let, it's woo.
It's just that Worcester.
Just say Worcester.
I can say Worcester.
There you go. See, that's fine.
But
You got it.
you look at it, it's just like Worcester.
Yeah, but if you look at
Worcester.
Leicester, you wouldn't say it how it looks on that one. Leicester?
Exactly.
No,
you
it's
should have seen me.
Leicester.
Derby, Derby, Hull, who?
It's
all
Hull,
these different names.
Hull. I dread to think what you would do at Constance Stanley. Like.
Over in Australia, we got some great names like Wagga Wagga and.
You got threw me off. You got what is it? I can't remember it. There's a weird one I saw that just really got me. Yeah, you got New South Wales. Why would you make a new version of South Wales? Like, why? What's the point?
I'm actually from New South Wales. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, but why would you name it after South Wales? Why would you name it after South Wales? What's so great about South Wales?
South Wales, apparently a beautiful place to go on holiday, as my neighbours told me when I first came to England. But because I did wonder why would you come to Australia and call it New South Wales. Either way, both these teams going for their jungle starts. It's going to be Team Study Masters actually starting the jungle off in the top lane, allowing their bot lane to pick up that Grump. So they'll have a bit of an XP lead as they head into the bot lane. But Kofa will be pushing down this wave very quickly. Tepid Object as well with those Targon stacks able to push down the wave, try and prevent some of the CS for this team. But Say a Dog already with that level 2, so didn't quite go well for them.
Yeah, they weren't able to get the level 2 advantage, but Ezreal's not really known for his level 2 all-in. You don't really accompany that for Alistar, yes, but he hasn't hit level 2 yet. So that's going to be the slight problem with that lane. There we go. They got the lead that they need. As expected, top lane, wet noodle competition, not really much happening. Even CS, they're just bopping each other back and forth and healing all of it back, but Dr. Balance got a slight CS lead and the lane is pushing against him at the moment. Not so really much going on at the moment though.
Both these junglers started on opposite sides of the map, so that's where we start to see some of the differences coming out. Jay Chow in the bot side on his blue buff, as well as Animumu just joined him there as well. So you might see the different styles for the junglers. They could just both end up in mid lane and then they would meet up for the counter gank. More likely to see them both head up to the solar laners, or not solar laners, the far lane, long lanes on the other side. But
lanes.
Looks like they are just going to head to both mid lane. So we may see some interesting stuff happen here. And it's going to be Jay Chow who initiates the gank. He misses the cocoon but puts down a lot of damage onto Milkyard. Meanwhile, Animumu went through the Rift Scuttler, laying down that vision in the top lane. So and now that he's spotted Jay Chow there, he can actually quite comfortably counter invade, or just invade the jungle of Jay Chow, try and steal some of that CS away.
Yeah, Jay Chow, he's tried to go down bot off the back of that, walks himself over a ward, easily got spotted, he's just going to have to back off. But after taking a little bit of jungle attention away from Jay Chow, Animumu's on his way up here. Tom Kench has eaten the disgusting beast that is Mundo. The red buff goes down, gets a second order attack, but forces 2 flashes out of the top laners. First blood going over to Animumu.
Yeah, Dr. Balance didn't actually have to flash there. A little bit greedy from the Tahm Kench. Animumu, very capable of picking it up. Extra damage because he was closer to place transform that shotgun of Graves doing the work. He did miss end of the line, but it just didn't matter. He had red buff and so much burst damage when you're close up to that Graves. And first blood goes over to Worcester. Did I say it right?
Worcester.
Worcester.
Worcester, not Worcester. But anyway, before we get too deep into this, a little bit of bot lane aggression forces Kofo Lakex out into where he needs to go. Gets chunked, but nothing really burnt out of there, still retaining all their summoners. Worcester.
Worcester.
There we go.
I'm just going to mute my mic and practice this. Be right back. Oh dear. Animumu heading into his bot lane. Looking for a bit of a gank here. He is spotted out by Ward, so nothing gonna happen. They did clear it out though, so nicely played by the two.
By the two what?
The two players from
The
Worcester.
the two Worcesters?
The two Worcester Weeaboos, yeah. I was going to say their name and just decided it was better not to.
Yeah, it was really subtle. I didn't notice that you were missing something you were going to say. But in the bowling, Anamumu, he's come back around from the side angle, gets the stun onto Mochu. And he tries to get in range to lay down more damage. Yet again, still not burning any summoners, but just alleviating a little bit of pressure here for his teammates.
The minion wave was really nicely stacked up there for the team from Manchester, much easier name to pronounce. Graves can't actually really auto-attack through the wave very effectively, all the burst damage hitting the minions in front of it. So for Wu, Mochao on that Alistair, able to effectively walk away, save their summoners, and gank avoided.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Worcester. It really got me going. Anyway, to Lupus transform, getting those appetite the Dr. Balance has for it, opening his big, massive fish face. just to try and go near there to demolish that Mundo. And it always gets me about the Tom Kitchen. He gets the 3 stacks, he just opens his mouth and walks around like a goddamn idiot, just flapping his tongue everywhere. Gets me every time, especially when he looks at the camera as he's doing it.
So in the mid lane, Milkyard trying to pressure out Loveling, and Loveling not quite got that power spike that is the Trinity Force. Have to see if Team Study Master could do anything there. Jay Chow coming in for the lane gank, but Wu Machao not quite confident in their ability to flash forward, land the pulverize, especially since the bot lane for the Weeaboos deal with all their sums as well.
Yeah, we see that Jay Chow's coming around to that mid lane, hoping to get onto that Azir. He's just sitting in the bush, but Anamumu's in the top lane. That Mundo's level 6, so the best you were going to get was that ultimate out of him at this point.
Ultimate's not the worst thing. Now for La Place Transform, he's used his ultimate in a position that possibly didn't want to. Now Dr. Balance able to tank up this turret. There's the Cannon Barrage actually coming out of Lungling from the mid lane. Grey Health going to have to be popped, and that Cannon Barrage just completely nullifying the gank. It meant that Dr. Balance had to pop his Grey Health way sooner than intended, and they couldn't continue the dive onto La Place Transform.
Yeah, I would do color casting here if I knew how to do it. See, we're swapping roles at the moment, but it's fine. Tepid Object, he's got one of the stacks onto Messiah Dog. I don't think he's got the range to be able to catch him, and so he's just going to walk away. Jay Chow in the mid lane though. Milkyard is going to get himself to safety using some Shurima shuffling tactics. And he's just going to go back to farming like he didn't even care.
Yeah, that's the power of Azir really, is that he can dodge a gank quite easily with that Shurima shuffle. And as long as he dodges the initial damage of the cocoon, the stun coming up, going to be quite easy for him.
Oh, bot lane's going to commit to this though. Tepid Object is tanking the tower, but it could get the final auto attack to actually stun. So Tepid Object loses an ult in a flash in a bad trade.
Yeah, really nicely played by my dog there to put himself in a position that forced the Weeaboos to either all in or nothing, and the Weeaboos did not want that headbutt combo coming out of Wu Machao. But Ezreal doesn't want to really fight. He doesn't have the mana to anyway. He just wants to try and farm up, keep this CS difference that he's got over Kofo already going for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. 86 to 77 in that bot lane that he has over Kofo. Really though, it's kind of irritating that Ezreal, he doesn't really get the early game power spike, whereas, you know, you see Lucian investing into a core field and a BF sword straight away. Ezreal's probably going to go for that tier and that sheen and probably a pickaxe right working towards a mirror mana, so nothing substantial yet, and just will get out damaged by that Lucian in the early game.
He actually straight up bought the mana moon. He had, he had a 3k gold in the bank, had him back to so that's a really nice pickup actually for Messiah Dog in the bot lane, because they've been able to kind of just turtle out this bot lane, avoid the ganks and keep the Ezreal constantly farming. He doesn't actually have to go for the unfavorable tier, able to get a bit of damage from that Mana Moon, and we'll have to see what happens in the mid lane.
Yeah, Milkyard hoping to set something up for Anamumu, but the flash comes out from Loveling and gets him to safety.
Yeah, nice flash there by Loveling to avoid the gank. Animumu doesn't have any CC, so the only CC in that fight would have been Milkyard, and as soon as the flash came out, not much they could do. Plus, Wu Machao was there to back up his mid laner, so had to be a bit careful. So as I was saying, like really like what Miyasaya Dog has done by not backing early for the tier, but there is the downside, obviously, that the tier hasn't been stacking this whole time, so going to have to stack that one up to that 750 to get it to transform into Muramana, and that will be a little bit delayed for this Ezreal. So Power Spike's delayed a little bit.
Oh, Flash Engage coming out from Wufu. Ultimate coming out as well. Masidol has to sidestep it because Jay Chou is there. Shield taking a lot of the brunt of this damage, and Culling comes back out. Bot lane able to get out very defensively.
And this is the problem with timing your ganks. It's something that a lot of people don't consider, is where's the minion wave at? For those who don't know, you can look at your own minion wave. If you look at the one on the bot side of the red, they would have known that the minion wave was close to the turret because it completely mirrors the enemy's minion wave. And so by timing that gank as the minion wave just enters the lane, it means it's really hard for Jay Chou to land that cocoon, for the Cannon Barrage to really slow down the team, because Tepid Object can just jump over to the minions, jump over to Kofo, and because they weren't able to land that that cocoon, I think also a bit mistimed really by Wu Machao, headbutting, pulverizing, as soon as he saw the chance, but Jay wasn't really in place to follow up, so bit of a mistimed gank here by Team Study Master. Like, good idea, just wasn't executed very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I never consider in my Goldie low jungling, is that the minion waves. I always give myself into position. In the top lane though, at least she's not got the problem with the minion wave this time. Dr. Balance gets some damage on. Gonna have to repel the chase up to him. It works successfully. Transforms, throwing cleavage at him. He hasn't popped his grey health yet, but I spoke too soon. The cocoon follows it up, and the damage is just gonna tick away at him. Jay Chou picking up a kill for Team Study Master.
Yeah, good gank there by Jay Chou. Did have to blow flashes though for Laplace, so won't have that summoner advantage in the top lane, but Dr. Mundo needed that jungle presence to stay in this game, otherwise Tahm Kench would have became a little bit of a nuisance as he's stacking up that health.
Yeah, he's got himself a position here. He's kind of built the Balmy Cinder, and then he's gone for the Spectre's Cow, followed up by the Kindle Gem, so it's probably going to result in a Spirit Visage at some point. The good old Season 2 Spirit Visage Sunfire Cape top laners.
Yeah, I remember building Spirit Visage and Sunfire Cape on my top lane when I used to main that role back in Season 3, and seems like we're back.
Yeah, back to it already. Mochao has gone into Kofo, but it might have been a little bit of wrong time as the junglers are here as well. This is a 3v3. Mochao's got the Unbreakable Will down. He's going to be able to walk out of this one. Teleport coming out. Lapis transform, or possibly the Gangplank is here. Throwing out the Cleaver though, but it's a bit of a false alarm yet again. Everyone manages to get themselves out safely.
Nice Cannon Barrage by Love Tingling once again. May have been a 3v3, but that Cannon Barrage does turn the fight a bit, makes it a kind of a 3.5 versus 3. Prevents the all-in engage. You can't quite run through it. The slow, quite devastating, and obviously the little bit of damage it does as well. As Loveling will be upgrading the Cannon Barrage at some point with the Silver Serpents that he is collecting. And we'll be building that Triforce very soon. Almost there. Got himself 1400 gold, so probably able to afford it now.
One of the nice builds I've seen in the Millwall is to get the Triforce, get the Weeaboos, then just stack Infinity Edges. And it worked out quite well for, I believe it was someone on Huddersfield White that did it. But in the bot lane, there's an engagement going down. Exhaust is being used into a side dog, as has the ultimate. Arcane Shift trying to get him to safety. The Winter's Bite misses just by a fraction. Means Masidol is going to be able to walk away, but he decides to poke the bear a little bit more as Dr. Balance finds himself on the inside of the Toad. and is still unaffected by the horrors he must have just seen, and will just continue to push the lane mindlessly.
If you're a Dr. Mundo, you've already been like transformed by mistake. It wasn't quite it going as intended. You've probably seen plenty of horrors yourself, and so I don't think Tom Kench's belly is something to compare to. Gonna be Worcester. Ah, not quite.
Hit it again.
Worcester. There we go. Taking that dragon, securing that early game advantage. 6% AD, 6% AP over. Gonna mean a little bit, but not really gonna come to fruition until we start hitting that mid-game, late-game power spikes.
Yeah, absolutely transform. Pops the ultimate and throws a few cleavers at Dr. Balance, but I don't expect the 1v1 to come out in top lane. Not gonna happen.
Wet noodle fight indeed in the top lane. Both these champions able to sustain through the damage, the great health, keeping Dr. Balance nice and healthy. Actually, the sadism putting Laplace Transform in a bit of an advantage, and gonna see Jay Chow heading up to the top lane to try and gank it. Is spotted out by Ward. Now he's gonna find Animumu in the jungle.
Yeah, and there's that Graves damage straight away, runs straight into Dr. Balance, and he manages to lick the ashes of the explosion of the collateral damage by Animumu. Gets himself a kill and a double buff.
Nice counter gank there by Animumu, following Jay Chow, who was spotted out by the wards. And so that's going to be going over to Dr. Balance, picking up the red buff and blue buff, as you say. Maybe help him a bit in this lane as he devours up and chucks into an Animumu.
Animumu's come back again. There's no ultimate on Lapis Transform, and he'll get himself his second kill of the game off the back of that successful counter jank.
Counter dank. Counter tank. That gank was so dank as Animumu pushed into turret range. Dr. Balance trolling his teammate just a little bit. Is the Thunderlord's proc there from Animumu? So much damage it does. Milkyard pressuring Loveling here in the mid lane. He's going to take the turret very shortly.
Just missed it there by trying to get a little bit more of aggression onto Loveling. So I'm sure he was looking for the dive if he took that turret down. Now he's just going to fight Jay Chow. He's got a bit of damage himself there. A needlessly large rod is helping him out as to melt through the threats on the Worcester Weeaboos.
Yes, the Worcester Weeaboos indeed. We do see the Triforce now coming out for Loveling. He's got that power spike. Have to see how Team Study Master use it. Such a instrumental time now. They really need to make something happen. Try and gain back a bit of an advantage. They're falling behind a little bit as we see Jay Chow and Animumu. Yeah,
he manages to miss the end of the line, but he still found a way there by just getting ass blasted by Animumu. Nice shield blocks the ultimate from Ezreal. Wuchu looking for the pickup, but he just gets exhausted and stunned. Dr. Balance eats the disgusting creature yet again, and just tries to, for some reason, still has an appetite for him. Look at his massive tongue just flapping around everywhere. Flash stun for some reason. He's going in on him again. He wants seconds. Spits him back out. He's trying to rekindle his appetite. Gets the stun. He's just going to keep chaining it, but it's Dr. Mundo. You really overcommitted for something that you wouldn't be able to kill.
Yeah, the flash probably a little bit unnecessary from Dr. Balance. He did chunk down Laplace quite nicely, and he's got that great health passive to heal up. Bit of overcommitment really from Dr. Balance, but able to pressure down Laplace now. The sadism has been used. Milkyard picking up the first turret of the game in the mid lane against Loveling, places his own down with the passive. And, oh, there's the barrel. This is the power spike we were talking about.
Oh, Milkyard in such a sad time. Looks like Jay Chow predicted the flash, but was just a little bit out of range. Milkyard's going back onto the tower for the kill, but Jay Chow with the execute, he's going to fall to the tower as well.
1 for 1 there. Really unfortunate bot lane. Nice little engage by Wucher.
I would say it's even more impressive timing on the shield there to just block all the follow-up damage. He got it almost instantly whilst in midair.
Yeah, Tepid has been really doing really good on this Brom. He blocked the True Shot Barrage that would have killed Animumu if it was to hit. And then obviously blocks the damage there with that Unbreakable Shield. And now, gonna be the Worcester Weeaboos pressuring on. They steal away the blue buff. Dragon will be live in 1 minute 20 seconds. Second turret now killed. A third turret even killed as they've got the top lane. And got themselves a pretty healthy 4k gold lead.
It's just what they can do with that gold lead though, because I mean they haven't taken. They've taken the towers. They got themselves a dragon. They are losing CS in certain areas of the map, mainly the mid lane, because their back plank is starting to get taken away here with the gold. With those barrels just shredding through the minion wave. They just need to make sure they stay on top of this and accrue this victory safely, because if they go overzealous, the goal can swing so fast in the favor of Team Study Masters that they'll just be able to come back into this game.
Yeah, we saw how Milkyard kind of disrespected the power spike that comes out of Graves, or Gangplank even, when he gets that Trinity Force. And if Loveling is able to lay down the barrels right, land them onto a possibly overzealous Worcester Weeaboos, then it's going to do a lot of damage. But look at them, they're just completely destroying the barrels as they come.
Oh, the double ult combo shreds through the team. Glacial Fissure being used to disrupt what's going on. Mundo tanking as much as he can. The soldiers are being retrieved. Flash Cocoon comes out, misses no one. End of the line comes out as well, but they've already taken down that Anamumu Graves. They're still chasing down everything they've got. They put him back underneath a tower. There we go. Barrels come out. Fish in a barrel. Loveling picks himself up a kill. His first of the game. And it looks like the Worcester Weeaboos are just having to fall back here and let Team Study Masters take what they want.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, Shred. The barrel damage, it's just so much. You need to group up as soon as you get that Trinity Force, because the power spike that comes from it is so huge. Now Team Study Master are going to look for their first dragon of the game, and it will be the Worcester Weeaboos, maybe looking for an equalize, but with Anamumu so far away, probably not going to happen. Red Dragon picked up, and that is equalized now on the dragon count.
Red Dragon, easily the worst film in the Hannibal series.
Yes.
Easily the worst film with Buffalo. It's just, you know, Buffalo Bill was so unnecessary in that film.
Yeah, definitely.
No Dr. Lecter. It was just like, Anthony Hopkins is my boy, and he wasn't there, you know?
Sounds like you're a little bit salty here. Tread over the Hannibal.
It didn't live up to expectations. Silence of the Lamb, masterpiece. Hannibal, masterpiece. Red Dragon, I would rather watch Alvin and the Chipmunks 2 The Squeakquel. Like, it
wow.
just doesn't...
That's a big thing there, Tread. Gonna have to bring that one over to New Live or the King in the North. Put it on, ask the audience which ones they prefer.
We'll do it by that'll be like the play-by-play analysis. It's just like two telestrators, one with Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, one with Red Dragon, and it's just a crowd vote to see which they would rather continue working. Even though realistically Red Dragon is a better film, Anamumu has about as much chances of surviving as Alvin and the Chipmunks does as being taken as a serious film.
That was a blind cocoon by Jay Chow. There was no ward in that bush. They spotted him out as he came through the tri-push, and they just assumed he might be in there. Jay Chow, fantastic.
Absolutely. So I just had to quickly change from talking about two films to talking about someone getting deleted off the face of the rift. Dr. Balance just steals the scuttle crab. Did he get it?
Yeah, he did.
I would be so upset if I was Team Study Masters, because that's just Tom Kench doing Tom Kench things like that. He's like, nope, I'm gonna take that from you.
Yeah, the tongue whip into devour combo if it's on a minion. Dr. Balance stealing away that scuttle crab, gains the vision over the Baron, and maybe Team Study Master wanted that vision so they could possibly try and sneak away a Baron. They've got the damage from Loveling, they've got the damage from Jay Chow, the percentage health as well, and Laplace as well. So they've got a lot of damage. They can take this one down quickly, but they have to be careful. Worcester Weeaboos are in the area. It's definitely not a wise move to do when everyone is still alive.
Meanwhile, Loveling just doing on split push on Bankplank, making money by taking those towers, and he's gonna have to back off and regroup with his team. sitting on that Infinity Edge Trinity Force right now, so these battles are just going to shred through the Worcester Weeaboos. If Milkyard has that arrogance he showed earlier, he's going to have himself put down very quickly.
Yeah, in pre-game, Milkyard boasting how he's the best mid laner in the UK. Loveling currently beating him up here. He's got the CS lead, he's got the kill lead, or the CS lead, I should say. Jay Chow, nice cocoon.
Oh, the deletion is fun. Red buff just gets rid of Adamumu yet again. Jay Chow just bodying this Graves jungle at the moment.
Yeah, the cocoons have been on point for Jay Chow, and Animumu's found himself in a precarious position. Blue buff to head over to Jay Chow. He takes that one as a bit of a prize, a bit of a victory for himself. And Dr. Balance recalling, he picks himself up the Giant's belt as well as the chain vest. So trying to be the tankiest Tom Kent even that you have seen. Have to see how Team Study Masters deal with him. I think the Dr. Mundo is probably the best bet.
Yeah, Dr. Mundo, how do you beat a tank by being more tanky? I would say the best way to deal with Tom Kench would probably be some soy sauce. It's going to have to be wrapped in some nigiri. Probably going to have to make a nice nigiri sushi. Probably goes nice with a little bit of cucumber, some pickle in there as well. You know, just really it does go quite nicely in that sushi as an appetizer. I mean, he's a chef; he could make himself if he wanted to.
Make really... himself, yes.
Yeah, make himself if he wanted to. Make himself into a fine dish. A lot of irony here because the Tom Kench would make himself into sushi, and the Azir could be the lord of his own grave. So, God bless.
God bless indeed.
Flash Cocoon finds stepping object. Not the target you want, but that's the signal for the team to go. Emperor's Divide forces transform out of the way. The barrels shred through the carries. Jay Chow finds himself in a sticky situation in the back line as they are just running over the Worcester Weeaboos right now. Grey Shield coming out there. The damage is still aplenty. Loveling trying to finish them off. He's found himself on the wrong side of the tower. Pops the orange, and it was K, maybe? I don't know. Transform is about to get stunned himself. Messiah Dog bringing out the damage. This shield is perfect there. Alistar jumps in, but Tom Kench is eating him. This could be another kill. Messiah Dog going over the wall. Alistar picks up the double, and Messiah secures the ace.
What a fantastic play there by the Team Study Masters. Just completely
Mocho!
There's a turret there. That's what happens when they chased through two turrets there and still managed to pick up the ace, only losing two members of their own. It was obviously the Azir turret, so that's why the Alistar a little bit confused there by the turret in the mid lane. Thought they'd taken that one down already. They get themselves another.
I just had like Vietnam style flashbacks of him walking near that turret. Just oh my god, like what is he gonna do?
And it's now Baron, Dragon even respawned. It is live. Team Study Masters are recalling, so they're going to try and take the gold spike that they got for themselves, currently 4k up, 3.5 roughly. Take that to the Baron pit. This is the time for Worcester Weeaboos to really make something happen. Ultimates are down, and maybe they can find themselves a pick. Jay Chow a little bit pushed down. Winter's Bite does land.
Not much going to follow up there. It's support versus jungler. The jungler would definitely win, but at the back point, what's it worth?
Oh dear. Kofo has to be careful here.
You also got a tasty Lucian in the bot lane there. He's going to get the slow pot down. The Rylai's doing work there. Jay Chow doesn't even give Messiah Dog the chance and deletes another AD carry in this matchup.
I'm so tilted.
By what?
Jay Chow didn't even have to use his cocoon to lock down the mobile Lucian. He just uses his repel to jump on top of him and follows up with the venomous bite. So disgusting damage coming out of Jay Chow. He's got himself the Abyssal, he's got himself the Runic Echoes, and that Rylai Scepter. 6, 4, and 3. This is at least quite tanky, but doing so much damage at the same time.
Yeah, that's the Rylai's build though on Elise. That crit for 1,182, didn't it?
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage from Lovely. That was one barrel.
It's got himself that Sterix Gauge, the Triforce, the Infinity Edge, and another BF sword for good
Another
measure.
another Infinity Edge. Double Infinity Edge, do it.
Probably not going to be that. It'll be interesting to see what he actually does build it into. Maybe an Essence Reaver.
Essence Reaver would also be a good viable option, but it doesn't meet the pure disrespect of double IE.
Trid is just like, do it!
Yeah, no, I feel like Darth Sidis in the background just like, do it. Do it. Build that double Infinity Edge. But now
Dr.
it's just
Balance.
Dr. Balance trying to balance out the warding on the map by taking out that pink ward. And the Side Dog, he's using his mirror mana to great potential now. You can see that bluing thing. He's got double gauntlets effectively because the gauntlets have the color. If you look, the mirror mana procs a light on one arm and the Iceborne procs it on the other. So he's got glowing hands. And it's the same argument with Kassadin, because with Kassadin, when he has a Lichbane proc, it's the hand without the blade that glows.
Of course. Have a look at Laplace in the top lane. He's taken down a turret. He's looking for his second. They did send Dr. Balance up to prevent that. Teleports up for both these top laners if they want to come to this mid lane. True Shot Barrage to try and pop them off the turret. This is just a siege. Classic siege when you have a Gangplank, an Elise, and an Ez.
I'm feeling so bad for them if they walk anywhere near that bush, because he's going to drop a barrel and bring the hurt down onto as many of them as possible.
Got two set up as well, so that's increasing the damage.
Oh,
they do take
how'd
one
they
out.
see it? How'd they see it?
Maybe a minion walked in.
Oh, so close to hitting them.
Close indeed.
The
This
spider
turret
manages to hit
hasn't
anyway.
taken any damage. They've focused all of their hurt
Oh,
onto it.
the teleport's going to help them do that, though, as they try to move up and force them off of it finally. They only needed a couple of seconds with it, and they take down that turret.
Yeah, that was crazy how much damage all of a sudden onto that turret. It was full health, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, we're going to recall and back. The pings are coming out towards Baron as a possible option for Team Study Masters. So with that Baron as well, I can imagine that everything is just going to drop even faster. And honestly, I don't think that Worcester Weeaboos are in a position to contest it at this moment in time. They're being a little bit disrespectful earlier. We said about Milkyard just not respecting the damage of Loveling. We talked about how they didn't stay on top of this lead. It would just swing back against them, and that's exactly what has happened as Team Study Masters have just taken control of this game as we head towards the late. Dr. Balance looking for that nice little trick again. A little bit too late this time because J Chow was able to smite it away.
Yeah, tried, did not succeed. Be interesting to see if Team Study Master just goes straight for this Baron. They've got so much percentage health, so much damage, they can just completely nuke it down. Could be a throw, obviously. 5k separates these two teams, probably 6k more closely. They've got themselves the turret advantage. There's only one tier 2 turret left to take. Dragon will spawn in 2 minutes, so that's a much safer objective for the Team Study Masters to go for. Laplace constantly pressuring down this top tier 2 turret, and it looks like that is what Manchester University are going to go for now.
Yeah, pushing towards it. A lot of folks being put in the top lane right now as teams are converging, but in the bot lane, there's Loveling and Koflo that are going to have to fight on. A nice initiation from Mochu, though, knocks them up in the AoE of the ultimate. Milkyard pushes them towards the team for some reason. Using the Zhonya's Hourglass, he just gets absolutely demolished the second he comes out. Dr. Balance being forced away by his team in a similar style. He's going to flash over the wall. Repel comes out. The Execute finishes him off. And there's no AD carry for Worcester Weeaboos in this fight. And that's going to be the top inner dropping as Loveling is putting the pressure down in bot lane against Koflo. And there's not much he can do to stop it. They're now going to start breaking towards Worcester Weeaboos' base. And that's the first inhibitor turret of the game gone down. The damage that we just caught a glimpse of coming onto Koflo. He cannot compete with Loveling. And that's the first inhibitor of the game going down in the favor of Team Study Masters.
Yeah, this gangplank has hit its peak. Essence Reaver almost completed for Loveling. He's going to recall, head over to Baron. He's got the teleport up in case he needs to make it over. And he will pick up that Essence Reaver indeed. So now Baron contested for these two teams. There's a ward. Worcester Weeaboos will know it's happening. Not much they can do though.
Yeah, absolutely. They're starting to get broken down. Baron and Nasha going over to team Study Master. They're all going to recall with that empowered recall and start looking towards pushing one of these side lanes. They're going to end this game shortly, but a pause has come out.
Yeah, pause by Animumu for Worcester Weeaboos. Apparently, ping spike for Dr. Balance, Steam downloading a game most likely. So we will wait that one out, see what's happening. One of the issues, I guess, playing online is you don't have that stable ping, depending on where you're from.
Yeah, one second. Just looking, answering one of the admins quickly. There, no worries. So yeah, just it gives us time to take a little bit of stock here. I mean, Loveling, he hasn't done much, but it's not the fear of what he's done, it's the fear of what he can do at the moment. 363 CS, 2-0-7, 17,000 gold this game. He's sitting on some disgusting levels of damage, and we've just seen snippets of what he's been able to do to the enemy team. But if we can just see him just one-shot someone with a barrel, that'll make my day.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Loveling doesn't necessarily have to do much because the threat of the barrels is imminent. And we saw it, the almost one shot onto Kofo in the bot lane took him down to under 20% health. And Worcester Weeaboos, they have to respect it. They have to respect that Loveling can basically one-shot them with his barrel combo. And meanwhile, whilst they're doing that, they're dodging the cocoons from Jay Chow, the Qs from Messiah Dog, and the Infective Cleavers obviously from the Place Transformer as well. So it makes it really hard for the Worcester Weeaboos. Really, they're lacking an all-in engage. Tepid Object could go in with that Glacial Fissure, try and knock everyone up, and then Dr. Balance maybe swallow someone up. Loveling probably the main target, or Messiah Dog. So they really need to make something happen because they're going to get pushed out of this game very quickly if they don't.
Absolutely. It looks like they're saying, are they ready in the chat? We could be resuming shortly, but I think we're going to be not going to see much gameplay as I feel this game is close to its conclusion.
Close to its conclusion if Team Study Masters are able to push out their advantage with this Baron buff. They'll have it for a little bit. Dragon's about to respawn. It will be the third one picked up for Team Study Masters if they're able to go for it. A bit of additional movement speed for them. Looks like these players are ready to go. Ping stabilized for Dr. Balance in the top lane, and the unpause is here. So, gonna be Team Study Masters with this Baron buff, pressuring on to Worcester Weeaboos, and seeing if Worcester Weeaboos are able to hold out for just a little bit longer.
Absolutely, but we can see the unit. They are TSM running down the middle. I'm surprised we haven't used that acronym sooner, to be honest. We've had it all game. No one said it.
Yeah, I try to avoid the TSM chants when I'm shoutcasting Tread.
Well, it's not a TSM chance. It's just using a TSM acronym to make it a little bit easier. They're looking to take that third dragon, give them abilities to just run over the Worcester Weeaboos if they are just going to choose their bot lane to take down and push up to end this game. Fortunately, Weeaboos bought them some time by pushing out that top lane to give them a little bit of extra breathing room while they try and deal with this wave that's about to push in against them. But I really don't think the TSM need this extra wave. I think they can just run into the base if they so please.
Yeah, TSM here in the King of the North getting that barrel doing so much damage. 1,000 onto Tepid Object, who's meant to be one of the tanks for the Worcester Weeaboos. Here comes True Shot Barrage. Yeah,
True Shot Barrage just clearing the wave here. They're just trying to get the damage where they can. Poseidon can't get too close because of the potential CC. The barrels are being used to siege them off, but they're very, very, very careful with their movements in and out of this tower range. just to make sure that they don't fall into CC and lose their positioning. They're trying to bring the minion wave in. 3 barrels go down, 3 barrels miss. Ultimate comes out to try and slow down the fight. No one else has followed up with anything, but they just need the turret, so why bother going for blood? That minion wave we talked about has now pushed itself in as well. There's going to be 2 minion waves that can be Baron and powered to push against these Nexus turrets, but I think they're going to look to fall back and do the exact same for the mid lane and allow the Worcester Weeaboos to suffer in the appearance of death.
Yeah, like what they did there with the cannon barrage, just to push the Worcester Weeaboos off the turret, and they timed it well with the minion wave in the top lane. If they were able to maybe pick up a kill, they could have pressured in for the win. Ultimately, they're going to play the safe game, try and take down this 3rd inhibitor turret. Gangplank going to just miss out on Milkyard. That damage not quite landing.
Yet again, he's not got the accuracy with his battles. Muchu finds Anamumu, the exhaust comes down, transforms, committing, as is Jay Chow. Milkyard using the Zonyas, but he manages to get Emperor's Divide out quick enough to push his enemies closer to his teammates. The place transformed, tanking both the towers, double kill coming out for Messiah. Dog, everything is being used on Mundo, while the rest of the team takes the inhibitor. 3 inhibs down, minion waves are pushing in. This looks to be the game for TSM. There we go, Loveling, he flashes in, he's going to hit Anamumu once, he hits him twice. 3 times a dead man as he walks away, gets the 3rd Nexus turret. 3rd Nexus turret? No, that would be the Nexus. Here we go. Cannon barrage comes down onto the base. Barrels are there. Just the sliver keeps Koflo alive. But TSM take round 4 of the King of the North qualifiers.
Really well played there by TSM. I completely forgot that's actually the acronym for their name. Obviously, Team Study Master. Dominating with that Gangplank, just pushing through. The cannon barrage had to be respected. They pushed everyone off the turrets and then used the barrels to follow up. Milkyard, with the Zonyas, wasn't able to do anything to stay alive after he came out. And that is a very solid victory for Team Study Master.
Yeah, absolutely.